Hello, is it working? Good morning, happy Monday, glorious weather here in Crowborough, beautiful cloudless sunny day down here in the southeast of England. Good morning, welcome to the SHAC, come on in. There must still be a few of us here, surely we can't all be outside. We can't all be outside. Come on in. It's too warm out there. Come lunchtime, it's way too warm. Good morning, come on in. Grab yourselves a seat. It's colouring week. It's colouring week in the SHAC. We're going for the postcards. We're going for one of the postcards. Yeah, downtime. After a fantastic week in Africa, your artwork, God blimey, you are so good. You're getting good at this. Beautiful artwork. If you haven't seen everybody's artwork, go over to Clarity Worldwide and just start scrolling. It's crazy good. You know, it gives me so much pleasure. It really does. And I love to see you going off at tangents and putting your own spin on it. That's the whole point of this, isn't it? The whole purpose of the SHAC. Come on in. Safe, happy and creative. Stay home and craft. It doesn't say copy Barbara. It just says safe, happy and creative. You know, my job's just to keep you going and keep you motivated and give you a few ideas and give you a few tricks and tips. You know, it's going to be all right. Come on in. Come on in. I wonder how many of us there'll be today. I think today, a lot of people going back to work today. I don't know. Don't get it. Welcome to the party. It's colouring week and I'm drinking, what am I drinking today? Beautiful colour. Fennel and licorice. Check it out. Isn't that lovely? I know. Tastes good as well. Yeah, it's good for you. Good for you. It must be. I remember when Grace was born, she had terrible, what's it in German? It's called Blähungen. Like colic, that's it, colic, and they used to recommend fennel tea for babies when they had really bad colic. And I can remember we lived in Germany, and we had a tumble dryer, and the only thing that would calm Grace down was to give her fennel tea and then put her on this tumble dryer. Obviously I stood there, I held her, and the motion and the warmth, it was like, and she used to nod off. Yeah, fennel tea and tumble dryer. There you go. If you've got a new baby, put that one in your diary. It worked for Grace. Good morning, come on in. Time to get colouring. Lucy's in the building with you today. Lovely Lucy. I love Lucy. We love Lucy. Come on in, Lucy. If you've got any questions, Lucy will answer them for you. She's great. Lucy is an illustrator and a designer. She's the clever girl who helps me. When I do my doodles, you know, my sketches, when I'm done, I take my folder, my Africa folder. I went Friday afternoon, right? I take my folder and I give it to Lucy and I say, there you go, Lucy, work your magic. And it's Lucy that then turns it into stamps and groovy plates. Don't you, Luce? Yes, she does. Clever girl, very clever girl. And it's lovely working with somebody like Lucy because she can read my mind. She knows exactly what I want. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, Jim's the same. He knows what I need. And you only need a couple of people like that around you who can just translate your artwork or your sketches and make their own. Don't get me wrong. They can do their own artwork too. But it's lovely. It's lovely to have a little team like that. Okay, so let's have a look. Lucy, if you could do me a favour, just send me a little text to tell me that the sound is good. I would appreciate that. And then it's 10 o'clock and we're off and running. You see, I'm on my own in here and I can't, if the microphone is banging or there's something wrong, I can only tick all the boxes that I can see visibly. And then after that, I have to rely on just a little tip from someone telling me that the volume's all right and it's not catching on anything or screeching. because the last thing you want is screechy Barbie on a Monday morning. Come on in, good morning. I wonder how many there will be. I'm interested, I should be intrigued to see how many of us are here today. You know, I feel like, I don't know what I feel like. That's what I don't know if there are words for it, it's that. I can't be the only one. So, do you know what? Let them get on with it. Let them get on with it. We're in here, we're colouring, we're okay. Yeah? Are we in agreement? Good, good. Right, did you have a good weekend? I worked, but it was very pleasant. Thanks, Lucy, that's all I needed to hear. Yeah, it was very pleasant. The garden is just glorious. You know, I don't need the beach. I don't need the parks. I'm lucky I've got a garden. And I sit in it when I don't work. And it's lovely. And the birds are just amazing, and the trees. And I'm a lucky girl and I know it. I'm a lucky girl and I know it. So today we're going to start colouring. And I had a little shuffle and I had a look at them. And I decided in the postcards, are you ready to start? Shall we get going? Because we've got a whole week of colouring. And don't get me wrong, it's not a performance, it's not a masterclass, it's just a bunch of friends hanging out together, doing something together and relaxing. And we're redirecting our thinking. Remember, that's what the SHAC's all about. It's just to don't be angry, don't be frustrated, don't be frightened, just come in and do a bit of colouring. This week we're colouring. Last week we were on our travels, weren't we? And this week we're colouring. Right, now, I was looking at them, I thought, well, nobody said I have to work my way through the green postcards, then go through the red ones or the blue ones. So I thought, right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Having had a look at them, I decided, look, having looked at them all, right, we done the cockerel last week and we did the nuthatches a few weeks ago. And I decided I would like to go to the Mandarin ducks. I just thought something beautiful and bright. 2 weeks ago we did the cockerels. They were also beautiful and bright. And I think Mandarin ducks are just a phenomenal work of art, and their nature. Isn't nature wonderful, boo-boo, eh? So that's the one we're going for. So if you could just locate that in your green postcard, because that's the one we're going to do. And the reason I thought this one would be good is because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 of these Mandarin ducks. This is a beautiful piece of artwork that Mel drew. Our friend Mel drew this. And the thing about them is that I haven't even completed it, but in my mind's eye, I know it's going to be absolutely glorious. Okay, so you get that out. You go and dig that one out of there. Still got loads of postcards. If anybody wants to catch up with us, you know where to get them now. Right, claritystamp.com. Yeah, claritystamp.com. Right, and then what I did, but while you're looking for your postcard, let's have a look at what we did last, right at the beginning when we started colouring, we did the nuthatches, didn't we? And then a couple of weeks ago we did the cockerel and the hen, the Dotty, do you remember? Dotty, Dotty, Dotty. And now I'm going, this is what I want to go for. So I thought we'd have a look at Isn't he lovely? Do you like? I like. I love. So what I did, the thing about the Mandarin ducks is they're just so beautiful and vibrant, right? Let's have a look closer and let's have a proper look. Let it focus and let's have a look at it. Right. And what's really brilliant about them is, first of all, of course, you've got your beautiful water lilies there as well. But what we've got here is 5 opportunities. See, I think that's a great, because if the first eye is a bit ropey, then I can correct it on the second eye. I can go to the third. I can change it a little bit again. Do you see? I only did the eyes just to give you a clue as to the idea, because there's 5 of them. It's so cool to be able to just change, you know. So that's what we're going to do this week. And it's a beautiful, bright bird. And what I did, I looked up, look, I Googled Mandarin ducks, okay, there you go, because I wanted to know what colours are in them. So I Googled them, look, see, actually, I Googled them, right, and I looked up Mandarin ducks. Now, I'm a beautiful colour. But I got a bit of a surprise because my eyesight's not what it could be. And on the QWERTY board, you know, the keyboard, the I is right next to the U. So I put in Mandarin ducks, well, I thought I did, and then what I got was like not what I expected. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? These are not Mandarin ducks. No, I know, that woke me up. Work it out. Right, so this is the beautiful colour, and where's the one that I've already done? Look, you can see, hey, get the colours? Isn't it glorious? Look, beautiful. I use my polychromos. There are some beautiful colours. You're going to get everything out of the cupboard on this one, aren't you? There really are no rules. But I did look up, you know, just to have an idea. There's orange at the back, red and blue on the head, got pink beaks, bit of purple, a little bit of brown round here. And yeah, it was interesting because this wing here, this featherwork here, it was my least favourite bit. And I thought, oh, I'm not happy with this, and I'm not happy, and I'm not happy, look. And now it's my most favourite bit. Let it, look. So once I went in the opposite direction to the lines, it was glorious. But it took me a few goes, because it's the same old adage, if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. And I kept going in that direction, and it looked like absolute rubbish. So then when I went down, it was like, yeah, I like that better. So what we want to do today, without further ado, I might, every now and again, I might just whip a Mandarin duck out so that you can see the colours. And we're going to start, I was thinking that we'd start with the yellowness. The yellows go around the eyes, just kind of break it in. And the other thing that I found when I started working on the duck, it was like trying to work out what's the duck and what's the water, you know? What's the duck and what's the water? Because of all the lines everywhere. I mean, these are proper artist colouring postcards, like the colouring book. It's an artist quality, and so the lines, it's not obvious. It's not like cartoony. Bosh, there's your Mandarin duck. So you have to kind of extract the duck from the water. But we can do that as we go along. The eyes are definitely clear, aren't they? Okay. So as far as colouring goes, I'm going to pretty much get everything out of the cupboard here. I did use primarily my polychromos. And I'm going to use that. You can use any colouring pencils. Any colouring pencils. You need red, you need blue, you need orange, you need yellow, you need a brown. And if you've got a purple and a pink, Bob's your uncle. I'm using, oh, and happy news, they're coming in, apparently. They're better. For those of you who have ordered them and they're on back order, they should be in the building this week and then straight on to you. We're all waiting with anticipation. Right, now what did I wrote on the back here, because I do. See, this is a top tip, because then I know which colours I used, because I might wait a week or 2 weeks before I go back to it, and then I'm snookered really, because I can never remember. There are so many, look at the number of yellows in here. Which one? And if you want to carry on, then it's a good idea to have the right colour, isn't it? So, also, another good idea, top tip, take a bit of copy paper, just stick it underneath so you can check, you know? Just check your colour, check your pressure. So you can press really hard and it can be really bright, or you can press not very hard and it can be really light. So just remember, you've got so many different scales. This one's just a cadmium yellow, dark cadmium yellow this is called. And I've got cadmium yellow, chrome yellow. So I've got all the different yellows going on here. What have I got here? I didn't use that one though. And I know I've used my ivory. This one. This is the creamy colour one. And it's called Strohgelb in German. See, it's a lovely sort of creamy. It's that colour that all the walls are made, like magnolia. And it's like a yellow. It's one of those ones. Right, so let's do this. Let's take a yellow. Pick a yellow, any yellow. The lightest yellow you've got. Okay, and I'm going to put my Dame Edna's on so I can see what I'm doing. And what we'll do first, do you remember what we said about layers? Let's stay on the front one here. We'll stay on the front one, and then you can practice what we do today, you can do on the next 4. And then what we do tomorrow, you can do on the next 4. Do you see what I mean? So you're building up the birds, the ducks, during the course of the week. I think that's the way to go. So what we're going to do first is a little circular, just get a lovely undercoat in here. This is the area we're going to, if we just put a little bit of yellow on the area that we're going to concentrate on, right? Just lightly. You know what we said about pressing too hard. Right. So in your pergoliners, what you got in your pergoliners? Let's have a look. Got a nice yellow there. So you'd be looking at the B pencils. You want the B8, the B9, and then there's a really nice B9, B8, B9, be nice, B10. So it's all the oranges and the yellows. You've got a beautiful pink in there and a purple and a green. You've got all the same colours in that end. Do you know what I was thinking? Because we're always at the B end, aren't we, of the pergoliners. I was thinking maybe in a couple of weeks' time we could try the watercolour ones. Because I reckon, because there's 20 of them, I reckon we should have a go at them. Why not? I know that the postcards can take it for sure. For sure. Right. So the other place that I put that colour, was under the belly. You see? This bit here. Let's just put a little bit of a neutral colour under here. Mandarin ducks. Has anybody ever seen a mandarin duck for real? Like in the nature? We've got thousands of them in this country, you know. In Britain. We've got thousands of them apparently. Apparently, obviously Mandarin, the clue's in the name, they come from Asia. And there's a little bit of yellow back there as well. Let's do that bit. While we've got it in our hands, just to establish the area. I think that'll do. I don't know, this could be water. No, it's not water. There you go, that'll do. Yeah, thousands of them. 2,000 or 3,000, they reckon, in the wild in Britain. And what's interesting is that they were brought into this country, onto our island, if you like, in the 1700s. But they only actually, but they were kept in captivity, but by wealthy people. And they only actually escaped into the wild. This is interesting. They only actually escaped into the wild in the 1930s or something in this century, and so that's how they obviously got out of the cage or the private park, and now they're in our natural habitat. And apparently, Dave said he's seen them. He's seen them often around Godstone in that area, but then he's a farmer, so he's out there often. I've seen them, in captivity, in zoos and that, but I've never seen one in the wild. Have you? They're pretty spectacular, aren't they? What a work of art, eh? Beautiful. I mean, these are the drakes. These are the blokes. These are the males. They're the ladies aren't anywhere near as showy as these guys. So now, what I want to do, if we have a look here, do you know what might be a good idea? While I'm up, hang on, let me come in a bit further. If I come in a bit closer like that, that's easier, isn't it? If I do that, I just need to have enough room. That'll do, won't it? Is that better? definitely better, isn't it? You can see the detail. Because I was thinking we could have a go at one of the eyes as well today. And then you've got, look, lots of opportunities to practice your eyes. And bird eyes, you know, a lot of birds have the same sort of eye. The owls have got eyes like this. I know that too. Right, so let's have a look. Now, what we're going to do, and this is all about light. So I've got a bit of a flat edge here, And what I'm going to do now, if you could try this underneath the eye, but a little bit away from the black line, just do a little sweep like this. Just a little, almost like a kind of a crescent moon under the eye. Just back and forth like that. Right? Just back and forth. Don't press too hard. I think the trick with this is to do this so lightly. I'll go around the eye. Stay away though from the... Stay away. See, just back and forth like... In German this would be like schalken. Swing left and right like that, you see. And then as you swing like that, you're just creating a little bit of depth, right? And then, if you look at the one that I did earlier, you'll see, now we're just going to go along that edge, just along that edge. So we're creating like a depth, aren't we, around the eye. Do you see? Not much. Build it up. Build up. And then what we're going to do now is we're just going to flick. Stay away from the edge. That'll do. And you'll see, you build it up with colour. There's another colour on the top of that one. So you're building all the time. Yeah? So what did I use there? I used the cream one, and then I went in with a darker yellow called dark cadmium yellow. That's that colour there, you see. So while that's relaxing, just let that relax for a minute. Let's go over this way and let's have a look at the tail feathers. Shall we look at the tail feathers? Let's just do a little bit of work there, because in a minute we're going to need, let's take a light orange. What's this one called? Dark chrome yellow. All right, dark chrome yellow. Looks like an orange to me. If I was in the Pergamano thing right now, I'd be looking at those peachy coloured ones. Right, so what we're going to do now is, if you have a look at what I've done, you want to avoid, you see that area there? So we're going to make like little blocks, if you like. Let me just show you. It's like a block, very lightly, there. So it's up, you're avoiding that edge, and you're just making a little colour block there. So you go off that edge, off that line, you leave a white area around there like that. See? Oh, hang on. And try not to do what I just did. It's all right though, we're so light on this, aren't we? We're just going to take our rubber, and you can, if you want, you can always go in afterwards and get rid of the colour on that edge. But it's easier just to not go there to start with. Right. Cool, I tell you what. Things are getting desperate around here. Come on, Faber-Castell, waiting. What are we going to do? Happy dance when that shipment comes in, I tell you. Right, so we've got, if you're waiting, just be patient. It's only another couple of days. We're nearly there. I need them as badly as you do. Right, so we're just going to pop our dark orangey colour in there. See? Because we're going to create that illusion of depth. So we're going in there like that. I'm pressing a little bit harder than I probably would normally. And you make the artwork come to you. There you go. So now I could go in with the sharper end, and I can just tuck in on the line, right? So it's going to be stripy almost. That's what it looks like when you're doing this. See? So what you're doing is you could flick if you like. There are lots of different ways, aren't there? You know this. Like when you're colouring in, Got lots of different options, haven't you? You can flick like that, like light feathery strokes like that. Especially with birds, this is a good one. If I do it, let me use a darker colour so that you can catch up with this while I'm waffling. Give you a chance to catch up. If I take a darker colour, like an orange, like a proper orange, right, dark. See, so these are the different basic colouring strokes, if you like. Let's call them strokes. So you can do light feathery strokes like that. Look, up, light feathery like that. Okay. If I wanted to, I could turn it round and do actual feathery, like proper, couldn't I? Like that. So you could see the lines. Or you much softer, and then that's what I've done, except I'm much closer together. And then it's called hatching actually, like light feathery strokes like that. You go like that, and then you get a whole blend. You could cross hatch. You've heard of cross hatching. What you do with cross hatching, this is if you, let's take, for example, a line, if you're going to work towards a line like that. Then when you go cross hatching, you go the opposite way. You go across so in other words, you're doing that. Like, that's a bit basic, but that's what you're doing in your mind's eye. You're cutting across, you see. So you go that way, so you hatch, and then you cross hatch. See what I mean? So you go in the opposite direction, and you get a really good coverage that way. You can, light feathery strokes, you can go in one direction, which I did a lot of in that area there. You see, that area there, that's what I did there. And the other thing, which we do a lot of, don't we, is the circles, light circular motion. So you just go like that, just light circular, and you can press really softly. What's a good idea when you're doing that is to get a little bit of I keep calling it a chisel, like a flat side to the pen. And then you'll see, as soon as you do that, you'll see it's a lot lighter. I've noticed your colouring in is getting so good. Oh, wow. You're really getting it's not hard, is it? I mean, seriously, it's just a question of practicing and figuring it out, you know. Couple of tips: hatching, cross hatching, circular gives you a lovely effect as well. And then the other one is what we did when we did the birds last time. Do you remember we did a lot of this? Dot. Oh, shit. We did a lot of this, didn't we? Which was stippling. And you can create lovely depth over the top sometimes of what you've already done. Gives it really beautiful texture. So stippling. The parchers, they do a lot of stippling. You know, little dots with a needle. They just perforate, prick, and it looks really good too. So there you go. Those are your different. Just a little recap. Those are your different colouring strokes: hatching, cross hatching, round circular motions, stippling. And then the other one, which to get a really nice, like a general, like we did just now, it's you get the flat of the pencil. You literally get the flat of the pencil. You hold it a little bit differently, the pencil, and you're using the flat as the pencil. See, like that. And you can get a really, so you come in from, say, a line like that, and you develop the chisel because you're using the flat, literally the flat, like that, this part of the pencil here. And so as you go down on the paper, you can see, if you want it darker near the line that you're working on, see how I just come up a little bit? Watch me, the pencil's coming up. You can't see it from that angle, maybe better from this angle. I'm flat now. Actually, do you know where you can see it better from? Here. See, I'm flat like that. And then as I get close, as I want it to get darker, I go up. My hand starts to go up, and then all the focus is on the line. See? You see what I mean? So now it's much darker there. As I come up with my hand, this is a bit exaggerated, but you'll see. So you go from flat on the side, like that. And now I'm going up and 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 up. And I'm using this finger here just to stop me going too far. See, and once you've got that, the thing about this, I know I'm not even working on here, but this is good to know, right? That when you get this is still, I haven't pressed hard, so it's not shiny. And that means I could take any colour now. I could take a red now, a red over the top. And I can add a red, look. See how it changes it? And I'm doing the same thing. And that's just beautiful blending. See? We're back to Africa here, aren't we? Look, there's a lovely... But look at the colour. It's that colour. But I've added it over the top. And it takes it down. Takes it right down from a bright orange to a beautiful russet colour. So the thing is, when you buy a tin of pencils, say you buy 30 or 60 pencils, or you're actually buying hundreds of colours. Just a question of how you blend them. And that's the pergoliners as well. Okay, so that was all the theory on a Monday morning. Back to our Mandarin duck. Yeah? Right, duck. So what we'll do now, we've got, let's have a look. These are the colours that I'm on at the moment. I've got light. How are you doing? Are you all right? Have I lost you all? Or are you there? Come on in. Hey? It'll be fine. Mandarin duck's beautiful, isn't it? Mandarin duck's beautiful. They're in Buddhism, they're very symbolic. I like the colouring and the doodling. It gives us, it's informational too. I find it very informative. In Japanese, they are symbolic of marital loyalty. And there are legends in Japanese around that loyalty. Isn't that lovely? So I like that. I like that. And so we've got 4 different colours: light, medium, bit darker, darkest. Like so. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to build these colours up. And can I also suggest, if you have got the polychromos or any other, you know that boring grey one, the warm grey, that one, and we can always add that bit later. But I just want to show you, right, what I just said about the hatching, right? What we'll do now is we're just around the eye. You watch over the top of that yellow. Just add a little bit. Do the same thing that we did before, but do it with that grey, and you'll see it takes it down. It just you don't want loads. You can always take it away. You can always rub it out. That's the magic of it, you know. But if you just add a little tiny whisper of that light grey around the eye like this, it stops it being quite so canary yellow. Yeah, there you go, look. And it's that lovely pendulum swing, that schaukel. Schaukel, isn't that a nice word? Schaukeln. See, and when you've got that, you see how it takes it back when you look at the eye, and you can take a slightly darker. Let's take a slightly darker orange. You build up your colours, right? And then maybe we add a little bit more like that. Just go. Schalken. There you go, and you're learning words again. Schalken. See, now this is giving it a little bit of depth. So I'm feathering, light feathery strokes. If you use a sharp pencil for this as well, you'll see. If I just, let me just gently sharpen, let me sharpen that yellow. Have a look. I think that other pencil sharpener's better. I think we're going to go and source some pencil sharpeners soon here. We've just got a lot on our plates at the moment, people. As long as you've got a pencil sharpener and you use it slowly, it'd be fine. Right, there you go. See, you get a bit sharper and then you get that lovely texture. Go round, and we're keeping that whiteness around the eye for a good reason. See, so you build up your colour, and you can schaukel, you can swing back and forth. You can feather, because feathering, clues in the name, with a slightly darker one over the top, and it gives it that sense of movement. Yeah, not too big, just little feathers. And then, of course, along that edge again, you can add a little bit of depth. Nice. Don't worry, don't press too hard though, or you're going to get that seal, aren't you? See how you keep building it up. Cool. Let's have a look at the eye, right? Just moving around a little bit. Let's look at the eye. We'll let that sit for a minute. So you've got your colour there. I think it's all right to move around a little bit. Now the eye. Let's have a look. Because I want you to... We've got an HB. That'll do, I reckon. You need a black for this and a brown. Got a black and a brown in your box? Yeah? What we want to do is make sure that we've got a white bit. So you see that centre bit? Let's see if this is closer. There we go. See if you look here, what we're looking for is to establish a bit of whiteness in that middle bit. So what we'll do is we'll just literally, we'll cordon off an area like that. Just make a big circle like that. So now he's looking, it looks like he looks a bit dodgy because he looks over he's looking over his shoulder. But I just want you to just give yourself that space, you see? Because the middle bit is black, black. So what we're going to do, we can do it with HB pencil just for now. And now you're going to go round and round and round the houses like that, gently does it. Right. So you've got that. See, black's quite severe. If you go in with the black, it's definitely, it's black, isn't it? So you could probably get away with doing it with a pencil first, and then you'll feel more comfortable, I think. I certainly did. See, so you've got your black, you've got your blackness. And then what we want to do now is put the area around the eye, right? So let's go to a softer colour, a brown. What have I got here? Dick Van Dyke. Van Dyke brown. That'll do. Well, I've got loads of different ones. Sienna brown would be lovely. There's another nice one that I like. Walnut, I think it's called. Walnut brown is good as well. Right, this will do though. Right, so what we're going to do now is with a sharp pencil, take your pencil and you're making little flicks all out from the black all the way round. Just out. Don't go out beyond. Let me just show you. If I get in really tight, if you see it really tight, can you see that? I'm coming in even more now. There. See, so you flick all the way round like that. This is what I thought would work anyway. I certainly get the end result. So I just flick, and I try not to go out into the yellow area. Right, so just shorter flicks. So round you go, like that, flicks. Nice. So he looks a little bit starstruck when you look at it like this. He looks like he's on some sort of medication, like real strong, mind-altering substance. So what we're going to do now is just tone that eye down. And we're going to go to the lines, the black lines, and we're going to soften them. So you're going to take your brown pencil now. You take a lighter brown. You can always go in darker afterwards, can't you? Take a lighter brown, yeah, and just gently go over the top of those dark lines like that. That's all. Just gently colour in the background a bit. And then make an round the outside, the actual where Mel gave us the line, just gently, it's not a race, just go round and round like this. Like that. When you look at the eye of the, have a look at the eye of the duck, have a look at the picture. See the black, see the brown, see the white rim? Get it? That's what we're looking for. Okay. So now we're going to come round in here and we're going to start adding depth around the outside. So if I hold this up, I mean, this is only a tiny little eye, so it's quite difficult to show. Yeah, you see now what we're doing? That's what we're on. At the moment, it's not black, it's just pencils. And then what I want to do is just get in there. I'm going in with my black now. Yeah, sharp, really tight. I want it. So I want a nice sharp nib. That's sharp enough. I find if you make it too sharp, it just breaks anyway. So we're going to just outline, make that middle black. Now we're going for it. Right, so you've got the middle black. Don't lose the white bit. And then just come around the outside gently with the black as well. And you'll see, so you could even give it a little bit of shade over the top, a little bit darker over the top. You'll get it in a minute. You watch when you see what I've done. Cool. The more you do with these, the better you get as well. I know that. Yesterday they were looking a bit ropey when I was preparing, and now eye number 6 and it's looking okay. See, it looks extreme because of course it hasn't got all its colour around it. Yeah, but you see the white round the outside, see? So there you go. So we've done that, and we've got our eye. So now you can see you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more there that you could have a little practice with, couldn't you? All this yellowness around the outside, you could have a little practice with all of those, and you can get my chisel going. You can get a little bit of depth around there, tone it down a little bit. See, and by avoiding the black line, it's brilliant really, because what it does is it creates the illusion of a whiteness around the outside. We didn't add white, we just didn't fill it in, did we? We just didn't go there. You see? That's it. All good. All good. And you may think that this is a little bit excessive, and it's you could have done all 4 birds or 5 birds in the time it's taken me to do one eye. But the thing is, and this is where I'm coming to with our SHAC and our doodling and our colouring, it's not a race. We're not going anywhere, are we? We're not going anywhere. The whole idea is to relax. Look, it's starting to look really nice, that area. I'm happy with that. And I can come back to it and add more and more. Right, so let's have a look at the tail feathers, shall we? Because they're really pretty. So what colour did I use there? I think it was this one. And all we're going to do now is add a little bit more depth near the line. See, again, what that does is, you see immediately, as soon as you add a bit more depth there and along that line, you're getting that shading, aren't you? See? So let's see, I'm just pressing a little bit harder now, just to get that depth. Beautiful. There we go. Look. See? And then we can come up a bit more. We'll take the same pencil, we'll do light feather, see the round, just to get that lovely. The thing to do is look at what you're looking at. Take my tips and then develop your own skill set. Do you remember what we were saying about adding our skill set to our toolbox, eh? I made my mind up this weekend not to get angry. And not to bring it in here either. You know, I'm aghast at what's going on in the world at the moment. Words fail me. And so I thought, oh, hang on a minute, Barbara, you're a linguist, you know the game. And I thought, You know, like we do colouring like this, don't we? And we can really, by concentrating on what we're doing, I'm just adding a little bit of yellow, that creamy colour around the back now. You know, by concentrating on what we're doing, you could be oblivious, can't you, to everything. Isn't that the whole purpose of what we're doing? That oblivion. And the thing about that is, I've missed one down here underneath that leaf there. The thing about it is, I've got a lot more control. I can only speak for myself, right? But like we already made our minds up we were not going to watch the news anymore because it was too upsetting. I haven't watched the news because I know I will just get too upset. So I get it regurgitated to me by people who have watched the news, and that's fine. You know, they can handle it better than I can, and I'm not handling it well, so I don't handle it. There you go. There's a solution. And the other thing, which is why I also got up really early this morning. The other thing that I'm aware of, which one do I want to use now? I'm going for the lighter one now. I'm going to do the back one. Otherwise, in a minute, I won't remember what colour I used in the front. So I'll just do the back as well. Same sketch, leaving those, you know, the gappy bits around the outside. Yeah. A little bit just to establish the area that we're colouring. Yeah, and I just thought I have to watch my language as well. I don't mean my cursing. I mean I do have to watch my cursing. My swearing is an indicator of where my head is, and so I know that, and my language has been getting worse and worse and worse over the weeks as my fear levels have been increasing. So have my anger levels, and so has my bad language. And so this weekend I looked at it and I thought, do you know, I need to watch my thoughts. I need to watch my thoughts, because what happens is my thoughts become words, and my words, because I you know, I'm honest, I have anger issues. That sounds like clinical, but I can get angry. And over the years I've worked out ways to calm it down. Drawing, for example, doodling, not drinking alcohol, not drinking tea. There are lots of things I can do to calm me down. And so I just have been aware that my language has been deteriorating. And I thought, you know, I can do something about that. If I watch my language, if I watch the way my head is, where I'm thinking, like what we do here, this colouring, right? This really helps because it redirects my thinking. You've heard me say that several times now. It redirects my thinking, right? And then I get off that fear-based, anger-based. I don't know where it comes from. Who knows? Who knows? All I know is I've got it. And so I watch where my thoughts are going, and if I feel them going in a dark place, I turn them round, I go listen to the birds, I listen to nice music, go out, just stop thinking bad thoughts, because if I think bad thoughts, then what happens is my words get bad, and I use bad language, and I go negative, and then when I do that, then my actions get negative as well, you know, and then that becomes a habit, and then before you know it, it's a way of life, and it's just like not where I want to be, and I'm going to great lengths. As I say, I can only speak for myself, but I'm going to great lengths to stay positive, stay safe. You know, the SHAC does that for me. I hope it does it for you as well. You know, I can't control the way other people behave. Of course it baffles me. But I can only monitor my own behaviour. And I don't want to get sucked in to, you know, bad thinking, negativity. Negativity is what it boils down to, isn't it? It's that negative thinking, and I can get onto that. I can get caught up in it, and it can happen. It happens over. It doesn't happen instantly. It happens over time. It just. And then before you know it, you look up one morning and you think, wow, I'm a really angry, aggressive, foul-mouthed person. Where did that come from? You know? Because my mum and dad aren't. Where did that all come from? And I think it's habit forming. And habits, I've been able to break worse habits than negative thinking. I know that. So that's me at the moment. That's where I'm at. I'm trying to keep my thoughts positive, not get sucked in to other people's opinions, because opinions are like noses. Everybody's got one, remember? Doesn't that look pretty? Hey? And we're colouring in Mandarin ducks. I mean, what a wonderful thing to do on a Monday morning. Hey? Have a look here. Have a look here. See how dark it is in here? That's quite cool, isn't it? See, whether or not you want to do it already or whether you want to wait until we put the depth in, but I just want to explain to you that, of course, is that grey pencil or even an HB pencil, right? Because we haven't pressed too hard, you'll see, look, I'm hardly touching the paper. I'm really just levitating, right? But you watch how it changes. See? I can come in there like that. I can press a little bit harder. See, as I press harder, obviously it gets darker. Duh. There you go. And if I've pressed too hard on the orange, just a top tip, if you press too hard on the orange and you feel that your grey is not going in very well, because that's what happens if you press too hard, it gets quite difficult to get through. Like I can feel a little bit of resistance there. All I need to do is take my rubber, my eraser, my pink one, and just loosen up that orange again. All I do is that, coming in from this side like that, right? And as soon as I do that, don't worry about that I've dragged the colour over into the white, because that's going to be black in a minute anyway. Look, it's black. But what I'm doing is I'm just breaking the seal on the orange. I've had to do that a few times where I've pressed too hard, you see. But as soon as I do that, watch when I go in with my grey now. The grey takes, look, see? Straight away, just in case that's happened to you. As soon as you go in then with a shadow colour, like a grey or a beige or a brown or whatever you fancy. So you could use, look how different it is now. See, I can go straight in there now. Interesting, huh? And I can take my warmer grey and I can go in and just tone the two down, blend them together so it's not so dark. See? But it's all about pressure. It's all about how hard you press. But doesn't that look pretty? And the same in there. See? If you've got a little bit too much pressure on the orange, then just lift it off and then you can go in. You can go in with a lighter colour or a darker colour. See this one, obviously this is, it's nice though, isn't it? So there you go. Then you can go in. When I do that, it's just so that I get a chisel going, so it's not so sharp when I cut into the card, you see. Then I can go in there. Just, isn't that nice? It just gives you a really good blend. And then I quite like it actually as well when the orange acts almost as a seal. See how it looks pretty cool actually. And there are no rules. I certainly haven't read the rule book on how to use colouring pencils. Good grief. Just get the result you want, don't you? You just get to where you want to be. There you go. Nice shade. And if you think it's a little bit too dark, well, happy news. Happy news. You take your eraser and you just flick it through and you get rid of that depth. And I did plenty of that, I tell you, when I was preparing this. So I thought, oh no, she wants to be all light and beautiful and orange and bright, see? Like that. But you can see how you get your eye. Look, it's really pretty. And then you build up that shadow there. There. So we've done quite a lot there. And then this area, that isn't almost recognisable, is it, as that? And yet that's the same colour. And all we've done is taken the colour. Let's just have a look, just so we get this colour going as well. I'm going to go over again with a slightly, same colour though, just a little bit more pressure. Just over the top of the lot, like that. Right, that's that. And go again if I want to. And then I'm going to take my two favourite shading colours, the light grey and the dark grey. Do a generation of light grey, just along there. Because I've decided that this is underneath. I like this look, right? So I'll pop that down just to add a little bit of depth so it's not, looks more realistic, see? And along here as well. Just a little bit of depth. Circular. Looks good, doesn't it? Yes, so it's up to you, really, if you choose to join me with this positive thinking thing. I don't think it's a bad idea, you know. Just keep trying to stay positive, you know. And I there are certain words, for example, that they're just beautiful words. So, for example, faith, joy, hope, charity, patience, kindness, beauty. Pick a word, you know, pick a word. Pick a word for the day. I'll tell you what we could do. Here's a thought. Doesn't this look lovely? Here's a thought. What about if we name these ducks, but we do them like at the moment there are 5 that we're working on, hey? There are 5, and we could think of 5 names for them. You think of 5 beautiful words, and I'll think of 5. So, for example, I've got, I don't know, grace, hope, kindness, beauty, honesty, truth. Did I say faith? I love faith. You know, there are so many beautiful, uplifting words. And perhaps if we just look at the 5 ducks and we say, right, you name your 5, I'll name my 5, and then write them out. Tell us what your 5 ducks are called. And what we'll end up with is like a tidal wave of positive words, you know? I think that's a great idea, Barbara, great. Because there's got to be power in movement, you know. And there may only be 400 of us or 500 of us. That's a fair old number. Tell you what, if we were running through the streets of London, we'd certainly make an impact. So why can't we make an impact with each other? Why can't we say, okay, that's what we're going to do? Because one thing I know for sure is that as a group together, we're much, much, much more powerful and more influential and stronger than the sum of our parts. I'm a lot stronger as a part with you then you are on your own, and you are on your own, and I am on my own. So together we're much stronger than the sum of our parts. And so if we all decide, right, to name our 5 Mandarin ducks, and then we write, how about this, on Clarity Worldwide would be a perfect place. We'll write our 5 duck names out. And not for a giggle, not for a laugh, but for a serious wave of positivity. I think it's a good idea. Now let's have a look. We've done really well already, right? We've done anything yellow really, haven't we? Maybe that little bit around the back there as well. So what I would love for you to do between now and tomorrow, only if you fancy it, otherwise just stick with the bottom one. But what would be really brilliant is if you did the tail feathers on all 5 of them. You're going to have a look. Be aware that they're not all the same. They're illustrated. They're not clip art. Right? So have a look. And you remember my tip? Very first thing we did, we went to the duck, and this was quite an easy one because it was at the front. This one, we're going to say, right, where's the head bit? Well, we're going to take our lightest yellow, or we're not going to press hard, and we're going to establish, before we even begin with all our cleverness, we're just going to do this. Look, just make a tiny little mark where you want your, see the lines are going different on this one, but that's the same area, that's that area there. So let's just do it. Let's just do that in yellow there, like that. That'd be lovely. There. See, and then you figure out what's a lake, what's a duck, which bit are we doing in yellow? There's the tail feather there. See, it doesn't take long. Just work out the bits that you're going to work on. Just make them light yellow. And then you already know where you're going. I think it's a good idea to do that. Top tip. Top tip. Can you believe that we've been colouring in for nearly an hour? Oh, I've got this thing that I'm wearing on my wrist at the moment. That helps. But I didn't want to put it on while we were working because then you'll all go, oh, something wrong with her hand. But there's not. But while I'm working during the daytime, it's good practice to keep it on, isn't it? So I'm working on it. And yes, happy thoughts, yeah, positive thoughts, positive words, positive words, positive actions, positive actions, positive attitude and character, positive way of life. I think I didn't invent this, by the way, just so you know. I think it was Lao Tzu. Lots of people have cribbed it. I'm just one of many. All I'm doing is saying that I think that will set us in good stead. I think so, don't you? So there we go. Do me a favour, follow, like and share so that maybe there are other people that could do with a little bit of colouring and escapism and a little bit of loveliness and kindness. Hey, I think so. Kind community, the SHAC. It's lovely in here. I love it. And so tomorrow we'll carry on with our Mandarin ducks, and we'll get the blues out. I think tomorrow the blues are bright, the blues and the reds, and let's go down that road. Yeah, the blues, the reds. What we got? Yeah, the blues, the reds, the pinks, and that there's a beautiful green. So you can maybe check what colours you're going to use for the blues, the reds, and the these colours. The reds, the blues, the pinks. Nice, huh? That beautiful green in his head. He's quite a fella. You've got to give him that. What a work of art. Hey? What a work of art. Isn't nature wonderful? Boo-boo. So thank you very much, Lucy, for helping us. Thank you for keeping us company. Thank you for keeping me company. And lovely stretches. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock again. I hope that you'll join me. Lots of love to you. Stay safe. Keep smiling. Be positive. Don't worry about what they're doing. Just worry about what you're doing. All right, lots of love. Bye-bye now.